Hey everyone, welcome back to World of Warcraft Classic Anniversary and our Orc Hunter. I appreciate you joining me today, and I hope you are all doing well. Today, as you can see, we are in Tanaris. We're going to try to wrap up the remainder of the zone. We're starting with Sprinkle today. We've got her Violet Trajan or Trajan or something like that. I think it was a mushroom we picked up over in the hinterlands. Looks like we've got a delivery here. Take the violet powder to Marin Noggenfogger.
Keep it real.
Perfect. Let's go turn this one in. So for today, we've got the bugs in the south. I think I'm going to be ignoring the two quests over at Steamweedle Port. So we're just going to be dealing with the bugs, and we've got a quest to turn in outside of the gates of Oldham. I think that was back when we did the quest chain for the Oldhamon dungeon.
Talk to me.
We have to deliver the platinum discs, and then I think it ends right there, but it'll be a nice chunk of experience.
Keep it real. Glad I could help.
Alright, some famous Noggenfogger elixir.
Keep it real. Hurry back.
Perfect. I think alchemists can make this, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if he gives us like the recipe for it. Oh no, we can just straight up buy it. Okay. It's a fun potion.
Glad I could help.
Get to be a skeleton. It's the undead model, I guess, basically, but, you know. Does this mean that we can be an undead hunter for 10 minutes? I wonder. I suppose we can roll with this for a bit. Let's go deal with those bugs in the south. We'll see if there are any follow-ups for that. If there are any, they might point us to Unguro Crater. We've already seen a ton of different quests in just random parts of the world that are trying to send us to Unguro, so we will have to make sure that we round all of those up before entering that zone. But we'll wait until level 55, I think, to get into the crater. Approaching the insect area. Let's bring our UI back up. And we'll see what happens when we enter combat. So we're looking for 5 insect parts. I think this one, the drop rate's pretty rough, so could be here for a bit. But we've got a very large level advantage. Yeah, look at that. You actually stay inside of the undead model. Which is crazy to me. That it kind of brings up the question, you know, if we're using a Forsaken model. We just got lucky and picked up our first insect part, by the way. If we're using the undead Forsaken model, and we've got all of these hunter animations available to us, then why can't undead be hunters in vanilla? Like, was it just like a race class balance kind of thing where they couldn't figure out, you know, what other class they could add to one of the alliance races or something? I mean, I guess it makes sense that they would have the, you know, ranged animations, because I mean, you know, like an undead warrior, for example, can use a bow. I don't know, it's just odd. That would be like if they made it so that orcs couldn't play shamans. Like, it wouldn't make any sense, and I feel like the same goes for hunters. It just doesn't make any sense to me. This is pretty cool. This was very different from the rod of transformation that we picked up back in Ashenvale, where we turned into a Frolbog. I don't think we have that rod anymore. But with that transformation, we were not allowed to do anything basically inside of it besides, you know, just like running around. I think I'll start, I think I'm going to start placing some of these explosive traps for those, you know, little insects that come out every time we kill something. Be a little bit more helpful in kind of getting rid of those pesky little pests. We're still sitting on one part for now. We'll get the other 4, we'll turn in the quest for Oldham, and then I think we'll just call Tanaris a wrap from there. The super sticky quests back in Gadget Sand is for Unguro as well, so we'll just keep that there for a bit. And I think we'll go back to... If we have some time, we can go back to Ratchet and Orgrimmar, because I believe there are quests there that we can turn in that have been kind of sitting in our logs for a while. Let's get our food buff up and whatnot. And then in the next one, I think we should probably go back to Ashara, so that we can try to move our hunter quest forward. I want to get to the point where it'll send us to the Sunken Temple, and that way we can at least keep an eye out for groups that might be forming while we continue with our general questing. Today might be the day that I open up Leatrix Plus and look for some different music to kind of listen to in Daenerys. I just cannot stand this theme. It's one of the few themes that I dislike in World of Warcraft in general. What would still fit Daenerys? I'm just afraid because I do like the ambiance of the wind kind of blowing across the desert, but I'm pretty sure activating one of these things will make the music not only super loud, but also okay. No, I can still hear the ambience, so maybe we're okay. Although I think these wind sounds are the same in Desolace anyway, which is the track we just picked. So I don't know. Maybe it takes it from the track that you pick, or maybe it just uses the ambience around the zone, and we just didn't notice that the last time. But this is much better. I'd rather listen to this. Oh no, we've become small. Second use of the noggin fogger. This looks ridiculous. I mean, hey, I know flying mounts haven't existed yet, but can we ride on Ripper at this size? Should make sense. Actually, now that I think about it, I wonder if we can actually... So we've got zones here. We've got dungeons too. Yeah, Encourage would probably fit here. But I'm assuming Encourage music... Okay, it's a little bit different. I just assumed it would be same as the typical desert music. That's too much. think that's a little bit too much. We collected our final insect part anyway, so let's just get a reload going. We'll stick with the typical music, I think, for now. We just need to turn in the quest in Oldham, and then we can head back to Gadget Sand. Let's scurry on down to Oldham. I swear we'll only use the noggin fogger just for this episode. We'll just use it up. A little bit of fun here to cap off our time here in the desert. After this, I don't know if we'll have any more deserts to do any quests in, because I'm definitely going to try to avoid Silithus, I think, for the most part. We might go there just to pick up the flight path, just to have it, even though we're never going to do AQ, either 20 or 40 for that matter. So yeah, I don't think I mean, I guess we're probably going to do the Blasted Lands, I suppose, if you count that as a desert. I guess it is pretty similar to Durotar and the Badlands as far as the color palette. Go the gates of Oldham. Got some elite giants walking around as well. Another fairly unique color palette. Suppose we can kill a few. We didn't seem to have too much trouble with them back in Feralis. So now that we know what we're dealing with, this shouldn't be a problem. How much damage Ripper was taking there. But then again, this guy does look like he's enraged, so I guess it makes sense. Just enough mana to save him. Alright, let's sneak over to this pedestal. As you touch the pedestal, the miniature discs from Oldemon hum and glow in your backpack. A familiar feeling tingle washes over your hands as the image of another stone watcher springs to life in front of the gates of Oldham. Salutations. I am a guardian of entry. The discs that have been used for access are missing the correct entry discs, the plates of Oldham. Please incorporate these plates with the disc structure and repeat your access sequencing. Thank you. Sending out the Daenerys Desert. Learn the purpose of the Stone Watcher of Norganon, and then interact with the Oldham Pedestal in the Daenerys Desert. I'm sure he's going to say a bunch of stuff. I mean, he's basically the gatekeeper, right? Like, not going to be too much to see here. I'm assuming we just turn this back in. With the knowledge of the Stone Watcher learned and the discs returned to your possession, the time has come to return to Thunderbluff and inform Nara Wildmane of your discovery. Only 470 experience for that last turn-in. That's very interesting. Yeah, it would have been cool. I would love to see Oldham come into a Classic Plus version of the game someday. Let's get our Noggenfogger elixir back up. And it would have been cool to have like a big quest line like that to, you know, have it be required in order to actually enter the zone. I think that would be really cool. I don't know if it would be like a leveling zone or if it would just strictly kind of be for like late game stuff, but I guess since you can access it, you know, around level 45 or so is about the time where you would do Oldemon, then I guess they would have to make it one. But yeah, it would have been really cool. Alright, so now we're going back to Gadget Sand so we can turn in whatever quests remain. We'll get some stuff out of our inventory too, which will be nice. And then we'll hearth it back to the crossroads so we can turn in a quest in Ratchet and then Orgrimmar. And we should be 54 when we turn in these quests, so we can pick up our latest upgrades too. And finally, we have made our way across the desert. Let's get everything turned in. Looks like we're approaching 200 gold as well. That was actually something else that I looked into in between episodes too. I kept forgetting to look into how much expert riding costs, for our 100% increase mount, our epic mount, ground mount, I guess you could say. And yeah, it's 1,000 gold before the discount in Classic, but it's 600 before any, racial discounts or whatever.
What's up?
In TBC. So I think we're going to be waiting until TBC to pick up our epic ground mount. It just makes sense. We're not going to be doing too much with this character at max level anyway in vanilla. If anything at all, honestly. Let's see. We don't have anything else to turn in, right? So let's go Hearth. I suppose we have that quest we can turn in Thunder Bluff as well. But we can just do that whenever. I don't know. I mean, it's taking up an inventory slot, so I guess we might as well do it now. We can kind of relax for a little bit, I think. So let's head over to Thunder Bluff first, then Ratchet, then Orgrimmar, and then we'll see kind of how much time we have left. But yeah, I think I'm gonna hold off on spending gold as much as I possibly can for the rest of vanilla, because I think at this point, since we're not doing a whole lot of gold farming anymore, everything is so expensive. Like any gear that we could get or even craft, we still have to craft our chest piece too, I think, at level 56, which I think is going to require some cured rugged hides, and they are very expensive. They're like 20 gold a piece or something right now, because of what is required to actually cure the hide. So after we get this kind of full wicked leather set, which is kind of like the I guess you can kind of consider it the highest level base set that you can make with leatherworking, outside of like picking up blue recipes and epic recipes and getting into the specializations like tribal and dragon scale and all that. I'm okay with having a full set of that, and that kind of being the last piece of gear that we get. I'm not going to be looking for upgrades and whatnot, especially if we continue to struggle to find groups, I feel like, as we have been for dungeons at this point. So yep, at the end of this series, I mean, really at the beginning of this series, I wasn't sure where we were going to be, once we hit 60, and where the anniversary realms were going to be by the time we hit 60. So I feel like by the time we hit 60, there's not going to be too much left for us to accomplish. So, but I'm totally okay with that. My favorite part about this version of the game is the leveling journey anyway. If anything, we might just do some more quests just to make a little bit of extra gold and explore any unexplored territory that we haven't covered yet. Where do we have to go? Looks like Elder Rise. Is there anything else that we can do while we're here? You know, I might pick up the Ungoro soil quest from Hamul Rune Totem. Because that one takes us to Ungoro as well, and while we're not quite ready to go into the zone yet, I want to start gathering those up before I forget about them, and then discover that they, you know, I had access to them later on. And our quest log is a little bit more cleared out than it was before, at least. And my goal is to kind of try to continue to do that. You know, we've gotten to a point where we've opened up the possibility of accessing like 7 or 8 zones, it feels like. So we've had a bunch of quests just kind of sitting around in our log, but I'm going to try to move away from that.
Walk with the earth.
Okay, so we just hit level 54, and now we need to speak with Sage Truth Seeker
Winds be active.
as a continuation of this quest.
Hail,
Let's pick up Ungoro soil.
the Earth Mother.
And yeah, let's go speak with Sage. Interesting, we've got a couple of quests right outside where we're going to be turning that one in. One of them's for Camp Moache, but it's marked as a level 57. Oh, you know what? That must be Dire Maul. And you know, I never noticed it too on our map. If you hover over the quests with CodexLite, there's actually a D next to that 57, so, which I actually never realized. I'm surprised that I haven't realized it up until this point. Yeah, that must be for Dire Maul, which I don't think we're going to be doing. I would imagine, at least. We can check with him real quick, though.
How may I aid you? Ancestors watch over you.
Obviously, we've got the breadcrumb to the Plague Lands.
Goodbye.
We'll ignore that one for now.
Be careful.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is Dire Maul, but it doesn't really say anything. And then the New Frontier. Which one is this going to be? To the west of Tanaris and Gadgetzan, and the circle needs you. Oh, I'm assuming this is for Silithus, because I'm pretty sure the Cenarian Circle are staged there.
Ancestors watch over.
So we'll leave that one alone too, I think.
Greetings, traveler.
Oh, okay. That was it. That must be the end of the Oldham line. I'm glad we got a little bit of a extra experience there. And look at that. We can actually see our rested experience bar is going to end. For the first time. I mean, it's not. Like, we'll have more time in between episodes, I think, to push this further along. But it's been a while since our experience bar hasn't been 100% tinted blue. Okay, so I guess while we're here, we can pick up our hunter abilities. We might as well, since we're so close. And then we're going to put our last point into Hawkeye. So now we've got a 6-yard boost, 41-yard range for most of our shots, and of course our auto shot. I'm going to once again ignore the pet trainer because I don't think Ripper can learn anything else at this point. And he probably won't be able to for a very long time. Yeah, I don't think so.
Greetings.
All right, so a lot of these we can leave alone. We're going to pick up... I'm not using Arcane Shot anymore, at least at the moment. But we might have to pick that up later. We'll pick up multi-shot for now because we still use that all the time. And we'll pick up explosive trap too. We don't use it super often, but yeah, I kind of feel the same way about explosive trap as I do raptor strike. You know, we use it every once in a while. And when we do want to use it every once in a while, it's not too bad, so let's just keep it around.
Well met.
Alright, it is off to Ratchet. And I think at Ratchet we're picking up something for somebody in Gadget Zan, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, this is actually for the goblin in the middle of Teneris. So we'll have to go back there at some point, but that's fine. We can turn that in when we head into Unguro for the first time. We're gonna have to head back to Gadget Zan for that anyway. We can turn that in then. Searing Gorge has got quite a few green quests, so we might have to go back there soon too. But of course we, have our hunter quest in Ashara. The Betrayed quest. Yeah, we'll try to finish that next, and then we'll go back to Searing Gorge afterwards. Landed in Ratchet once again. There's actually a quest here. Yeah, check that out. Volcanic activity. This must be, I'm assuming this must be another Unguro quest.
Yeah, what do you want? Pleasure doing business with ya.
Yeah, alright.
You ever need...
We are filling up our log for for Unguro. Alright, so where am I looking for this thing? Is it actually in here? Got a book, Archimonde's Return and the Flight to Kalimdor. That is not what we're looking for. Looking for a stone circle. I guess we can read the quest text real quick. From Marvin Rivet Seeker's workshop in Ratchet. Okay, so workshop. I'm assuming it's going to be like a standalone house that doesn't have vendors inside. But I also can't be certain of that. And this is just the inn up here. I mean, this building here is the only thing that looks like an actual workshop. But I don't see anything in here.
Well, spit it out.
No, Marvin sure isn't here and he won't be back for some... Yeah, so this is his workshop for sure. A large chest arrived for him and is too heavy for me to lug it inside here. I had to leave it out by the door. Oh, okay, so it's outside. Makes sense. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna have to take that stone circle back to Marvin eventually. So I'm okay with holding it onto it for now because we're definitely gonna be looking to go to Unguro pretty soon. Alright, let's head over to Orgrimmar and we'll turn in that last quest. we have arrived. And we are looking for Dran Droffers, of course. We've talked to him and his son quite a few times, I think, for some other quests. Yeah, I've seen a lot of the same quests we were seeing in Thunderbluff. Those war callers that kind of walk around and grant those quests, they kind of remind me of, you know, just like the war boards that they added in, I'm assuming Cataclysm. I think that's when they added those, which you can still see in retail today. You can walk around, go to the board, and pick up a quest for a certain zone. Feels like these, yeah, these war callers were basically the predecessors of that. That system. Which is definitely good design, I would say. I mean, you're telling players, if you're not sure where to go back to a major city, and somebody will point you in the right direction. At least a direction.
Speak, friend. Go forth to victory.
All right, perfect. It looks like that's all we had to do. Looking at what remains, I don't see anything else that we need to pick up. So many quests trying to send us to Silithus. Sorry, I am not interested. I'm going to check our professions real quick too. Yeah, so we're actually maxed out on our primaries. We're only 11 points away from maxing out cooking. Not far off with first aid either. We'll figure out what we're doing about fishing at some point. But I think I'm going to cut it short for today, guys. I don't think there's any sense in me getting kind of wrapped into something else at this point, but I think I'm going to head back to Ashara in the next episode. We'll look to take on our Hunter quest again, at least up until we are sent to the Sunken Temple. Hopefully we can get through that. You know, I think it's another quest where we have to kind of get lucky with drops from a specific type of enemy over in Ashara. Once we're done with that, we'll start looking for Sunken Temple groups. Hopefully we can put one together, see if we can get all the way through it. I think that would be awesome. There's some really crazy rewards to be had at the end of that dungeon if we can get through it. And then we'll probably head back to Searing Gorge and the Hinterlands, because those are where all the green quests are at the moment. In the meantime, as always, I appreciate you all so much for watching. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.